you got a call from somebody when you started feeling some symptoms or feeling something that was a little off, that you weren't feeling completely healthy. You got a call from somebody saying, hey, we were exposed to somebody, or we were at an event where somebody has since tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah.
A few days before, you get that call a few days later saying, hey, last Thursday we were. Do you recall anybody coughing on you? I mean, where can you give us what this event was to potentially let people know how easy it is to get this thing? Tony?
Yeah, it's crazy, Rich. It's a great question. Again, I mean, I don't know, because it was. You got to think back to when this was happening. So let's say this is the 10th or 11th of March, and we're at the beginning stages of this whole COVID. And if you remember back then, it was like, don't get around more than 500 people, and don't shake hands, and wash your hands, and do all those things. And we were doing all that. You know, we were watching where we went, and we weren't shaking hands, and you're doing the kind of, you know, the elbow bump and all that kind of stuff. You know, you're washing your hands, you're conscious of touching your face and everything else, and we still got it. And what they tell you know, what basically you realize is maybe I got it from the individual because we were at the same event. Maybe I got it and someone coughed and I walked through and I didn't even realize it. Because this is a virus that, as they'll tell you, is you can pass before you're sick. So before you show any signs, you can pass it, or any symptoms. And then there's a percentage of people out there that will get the virus and be asymptomatic the entire time and never know they have it, but they can still pass it along. And so I can guess how I got it. You know, maybe it was from the individual, friend of mine that got it. How did that individual get it? Who knows? A bunch of us were around them. Some of us got it, some didn't. And so it's one of the things that we just have to be smart right now. And I think the overall message is these healthcare workers, forget about everyone else for a second. Listen to the healthcare people and healthcare experts. And what they're saying is true. They're not making this up. This is not a joke. This is a serious deal. And what we need to do, and, you know, most people my age will be okay with it. They won't have the scary thing I went through. And if you're willing to roll those dice for yourself, that's your business. But I think it's time we think about everyone else in the community, the elderly, people with underlying health issues, and people who really can't fight this. And we got to, over this next, hopefully just this month, we can get through this and kind of, what they say, flatten the curve, but we can think of everyone else in our community and really make good, smart choices and get to the other side of this as soon as possible, because trust me, you don't want to go through what I went through. I hope no one else has to, but there are people doing that right now, and we just I think it's a time to think of, you know, not just ourselves, but our families and our friends and the rest of the community.
And your wife is fine now? Is she or asymptomatic?
Yeah, she's way tougher than me, Rich. She's way tougher than me. She never got a fever.
That's good.
Never.
Well, again, and that's the thing about this is that
she was tired and she lost her taste and smell, which she was ticked about, and but she's fine. She's tested she tested negative already.
Great.
She's she's no issues, and it's amazing. Same age. We're both healthy. We both were at the same event. We both get it. She has zero issues basically outside of just fatigue and not feeling like herself. And I end up in the ICU. So you just don't know.
You don't. And that's the point, right? Stay at home. I'll give you the floor. I mean, just like I'll give you the floor. You're the guy who's been through, you know what, and thankfully back. So I give you the floor on the last word here, Tony.
Yeah, just be smart. Hey, be smart. Listen to do what the healthcare workers are telling, the experts are telling us. Stay away from people. Don't congregate. Don't be around places. Go out only if it's essential to get to the things you need to do. And even when you do that, be smart. They're asking us to wear masks now. I know it's not cool. I know no one really wants to do it. Wear a mask. It's not going to kill you, and it might protect someone else and protect yourself. And so I think we just have to be smart and think of other people during this time as you're going out and doing what you have to do. Because here's the thing, Rich. This virus is scary. It's also scary for people out there because they're losing jobs and they're out working. And so the fastest way we can get people back working and trying to get this thing back on track is us being smart right now in the short run. And so I just hope we're really smart and we're diligent and listen and take care of each other right now.
And if you don't mind me adding one more thing, when you say go out with a mask, do make sure that the mask is not something that could be used by a healthcare worker. It's something that protects you and
That's
others.
right.
Because
That's
the healthcare workers you mentioned, Tony, were lucky that they were full PPE gear, full personal protective equipment gear. Not a lot of healthcare professionals have all of that at their disposal. And we got to make sure that they have it, right?
No, Rich, you're exactly right. I mean, just go wear a scarf, just something. You don't need the N95. You don't need the,
right.
What these healthcare workers do. Just wear a basic something covering your mouth so if you cough, it's not going everywhere. And we need to be thinking about these healthcare workers because you're right. I was in there early and talking to them. These are amazing people. They're courageous. Come in and without pause, take care of people like me. And they were thankful at the time that they had the equipment they needed to. But in places like New York and places that are hit much harder, they are using the same protective equipment way more than they should and sometimes not having everything they need. And they're still doing the work of trying to help people get over this. So you got to be smart. I mean, you don't use, the resources that these medical workers need, give to them. We can wrap our face with a scarf or something else, and that would be good enough.